or something I thought they didn't do good enough. But I can't look past this fight on the 28th.
All right, those are my questions. Thanks a lot, folks.
Thank you. Thanks.
And we'll go next to John Moody with Fighters.com.
Hi, first question for BJ. BJ, in this fight and in the first fight in Abu Dhabi, both you guys were very respectful and very professional. In past fights for you, BJ, there's been some animosity between you and your opponent. Do you feel that can help you, having some animosity and the fact that there is none between you two guys? Do you think that takes away an edge for you in any respect?
You know what? Maybe people say about me, but as far as wanting to go out there and prove that Frankie Edgar can't beat me and get my belt back, there's no lack of motivation for this fight. I want to prove I want to prove to the world. I want to prove to Frankie. I want to prove to Frankie's corner. I want to prove to my corner. I want to prove to everybody, who the best fighter is in the world, who's got the most tools, and who can execute better. And as far as motivation, I can find something. I can find something to not like Frankie about,
As for Frankie, you were in the corner for Ricardo recently. What do you take away from that very kind of abrupt and sudden loss that Ricardo had in a fight that he seemingly was kind of had the upper hand in until the very end? What does that do for you, or what do you take from that into this fight?
It sucks, man. When you lose or teammate loses, it's always with somber feeling. But you just look back, look at some stuff. You kind of relax for a second. So I guess if I could take anything out of that, is just you got to have 100% focus throughout the whole fight.
Okay, thank you, guys.
And we'll take our next question from Danny Acosta with Fight Magazine.
Hey, pleasure to be here, guys. My first question is for BJ. BJ, you've had only one loss at lightweight prior to Frankie, and there was a sentiment that no one could touch you at lightweight. So from that perspective, are you happy that Frankie has proven to be a worthy adversary where he's someone who could push you inside the fight?
Yeah, I guess the first way, first of all, no one is untouchable, and if they are, they just haven't run into the right guy, and yes, definitely, Frankie winning, I don't know if I sit there and say, well, I'm happy Frankie's a worthy opponent, but one thing it did was wake me up and make me realize that, it never stops. When you hear people say, you're the greatest lightweight of all time and this and that and this and that, it's bullshit. It's not real. It's fake. Being the champ is fake. All that is all fake. You just go out there, you gotta keep training as hard as you can, and keep winning fights. The only thing that's real is the fight. Everything else is fake.
And for Frankie, kind of the same question. Did you ever buy into, BJ Penn as an untouchable figure, or did you look at him, like he's saying, where everyone's not untouchable?
Yeah, I really try not to. It's hard sometimes, but you really try not to put a face on somebody. It's a style I'm fighting. And if I can go into every fight like that definitely takes the mental part out of it.
Yeah, and for both of you, do you feel you're entering this fight in your prime?
I do, yes. I definitely think this is it. I think Frankie was a good wake-up call for me. I'm 31 years old. I got tons of experience, and I think this is it. I think I'm going to of course I ain't looking past Frankie, but I think I'm going to go on a run right here, and I'm going to try to be as consistent as I can after this.
Thank you, guys, and good luck.
Thanks.
And we'll take our next question from Will Cooling with Inside Fights.
Hey guys, first question to Frankie. Were you surprised that a media rematch was requested by the UFC? It's not really something they usually do.
No, I wasn't, to be honest with you. BJ's been on top for so long, man. Like I said this before, if anybody deserved it, it's definitely BJ.
And BJ, obviously, the co-main for this event is the boxer James Toney's debut in the UFC. And you've always been somebody who's been praised with using boxing in a mixed martial arts context. How useful do you think boxing is in mixed martial arts? And do you have any advice for Tony?
What was your last sentence?
Do you have any advice for Tony?
Any what?
Oh, any advice?
Oh, boxing is a huge part of MMA. I mean, I look at me and Frankie. We're both work on our boxing all the time, and that's a world title fight. But I really would like to see James Toney do good out there. I think it only helps the sport. If Randy goes right in there and runs over James Toney in 5 seconds, that doesn't do anything. I look for what tries to build the sport, what tries to put more fans in the seats. More fans in the seats, there's more money in our pockets, and I'd like to see James Toney go out there and do good. I've ran into him a couple times. He's a great guy, and people get confused. People think all this hype, and they think all these things. They think Chael Sonnen is serious when he's saying all this stuff. They think James Toney's serious when he's saying all this stuff. They're hyping up the fight, and they're doing their job. And it would be nice. I want to see James Toney go out there and do something.
Cool. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
And we'll take our next question from Mike Chiapetta with AOL Sports.
Hey guys, thanks for the time as always. So Frankie, I was sitting earlier talking about trying to prove to everyone, to you, to your corner, to everybody, to the world that he's the best fighter in the world. Since the first fight was so close, do you kind of feel that same sort of idea that you have something to still prove in this fight, even though you're the champion?
I think you have something to prove every time you fight. You're only as good as your last fight. I mean, you could win fights and you're still getting criticized. So, I'm going to go out and prove myself every time.
Okay, you seem like you're in a sort of a reflective mood. Most guys are really focused on the fight ahead of them. You obviously focused on the fight, but it seems like you spent some time thinking about other things. I'm kind of curious if you spent time in the last couple months thinking about bigger picture stuff, and if so, how that kind of plays into your attitude going into this fight.
Yeah, I definitely stepped back and looked at the bigger picture of life, and fighting is, it's our life, but it ain't the only thing in our life, and we have other things, and if you don't find that balance, if you don't find that yin and yang, and then you could go over, you could pour too much in the cup and it'll overflow, and I've really just, I've just been being happy. That's the main thing for me right now, is doing what BJ Penn wants to do. No matter what anybody thinks is right or wrong, what I should be doing, I want to do what I want to do, and I think that's going to work out the best for me in the end.